We are streaming. Hi everyone. Hope everyone's doing good today. I just showered because I went on a hike this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I showered and came straight here to do this with Ryan. Hi Andrew. Hi Cece. Hi Lovelyn, and from Texas. Hi. Okay, so I have a question though. Can you guys hear me fine? Because I forgot my headphones and I was trying to use Ryan's, but his show the phone. It's not gonna work. I just wanted to show them. Yeah. But can you guys hear us fine? Yes. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how to make deaf friends. So a few of you guys have asked us questions about how to make deaf friends, and today is the day we are going to be answering all your questions about that. Mostly Ryan. Mostly Ryan's going to answer your question, right? Okay, so we are going to start off with a question I found recently on one of our Q&As. It's from Randy Guyo. He was asking about how to make deaf friends. He says he's trying to meet more deaf people, but he's not sure how to start a conversation. He says, should I go up and say, hi, I'm trying to meet more deaf people, or something like that, and he's trying to learn more sign language. And he says, he says, I don't want them to feel like I'm using them to be my tutor or something like that, like using them to teach him sign language. So any advice you have for him? Hi from Florida. Hello. Okay. Always have a problem with moving the table. Hi. Hi, Antonio. Thank you guys for being here, by the way. Okay. To answer that question, most deaf people don't mind if you go up to them and introduce yourself. Say you know some sign language. Just don't be awkward with it. That's normal for other people too, right? Hearing people, they feel awkward if a person introduces themselves awkwardly. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you're awkward, it's gonna feel awkward. So same thing. So just be friendly, nice. Just go up to them. It's not that difficult. Even if you don't know sign language, you can still start a conversation. Most deaf people, but some deaf people, but not all, are great at reading lips. They can read your lips or write it down. Yeah, I think the big part of it is I feel like don't be friends with someone just because they're deaf. Like that's the only reason why you're friends with them. I think if you want to meet more deaf people, just go to deaf events or get involved where there's a lot of deaf people, and then make friends with the people you like or have similar interests with. It's like hearing people, but just to make a deaf friend, you should go to like deaf events or places with a lot of deaf people. any recommendations for meeting people, deaf people, like going to events with deaf people? I don't really know about the other places, but I live in one place. Oh, sorry. I have lived in one place my whole life. So I don't know about the other places. But most places have like a website for the deaf in that area. So you can just research, say, or search deaf event in my city. Most of the time, sorry, it'll pop up. Yeah. So another question from now on. Are we gonna just start taking questions? Oh, moving on. Sorry. I'm so tired from the hike today. It took 7 miles of walking and hiking. Okay, so anyways, Ashley said, if Ryan's hanging out with deaf friends, is Ellen able to understand them? That's a good question. The thing is, I've learned all my sign language from Brian, so keep that in mind because that's very important. Uh, every deaf every deaf person signs a little bit differently. They have their own kind of style. Um, so my style is like Ryan's. So whatever I understand, signs that I understand easily are signs that are similar to how Ryan signs. So when I hang out with his friends, sometimes his friends have sometimes his friends sign faster, or they have signs that are slang. So I don't understand everything fully, especially when they sign really fast, but for the most part, I can understand. I can get the basically the gist of everything. So if any of you guys have questions, start asking away. Go ahead, ask away. Because we ran out of questions. We only had 2 questions. Yeah, so go ahead, ask some questions. We're here to answer your questions about meeting deaf people. Yeah, but good question. What? Wait. Do you have any bad experience with my deaf friends? I've had experiences where I don't understand, like I don't understand over half of what they're saying. So it kind of feels like I'm the odd one out. Kind of like if you're deaf at like a hearing event, it feels a little bit, hard to communicate. So it's like the same thing. I'm hearing at a deaf event, so I'm the odd one out. So it feels a little bit like not lonely, but it feels like um, it's hard. It's hard to join in on the conversation sometimes. But recently I've gotten a lot better, so it's not that big of a problem anymore. Would you say? Would you agree? Sorry, he said next question. But he said, I agree. I agree. Okay, so he said some deaf people don't mind that I use PSE, and others really hate it, and they only. Tim Hollinger said, some deaf people don't mind that I use PSE. Others really hate it, and I think I should only ever use ASL? Do you ever run into those issues when ASL users see you using PSE with Ellen? Well, no, not really. Because, I mean, it's my style. You know, why judge my style? That's how I talk. So I shouldn't have any problems with that, right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, our relationship is not, it's unique. You know, doesn't happen often. So whatever way works best for us is the way that we want to sign. I mean, you have to think that the end goal is to communicate effectively. Is it effectively? Sign for effective. Yeah. The end goal is to communicate effectively. So if effectively, that's a better sign. This means success, and this means like have a result on something. So we just want to communicate effectively, and if that's successful, then that's good. Next question. Jess. Do deaf people find it annoying when talking to someone who isn't confident with sign, i.e. sign slowly? Not really. No. If you just don't act too awkward, just let the deaf person know first. I don't really know much, but I want to try. Most of the time they'll be understanding and cool with it. Yeah. Okay, next question. Wow, you're really piling through those. Craze for Jesus 3. Are the important things in deaf culture that hearing people should understand, like what to do and what not to do? A lot of things. I would say most important thing respect. If you are deaf at a deaf event, just be respectful that it's a deaf event. Like if, for example, you bring your hearing friend and you're just talking, deaf people might feel offended by that because it's a deaf event. They took, what did you say? They have the event so they can share their culture. So it's kind of rude to do that. But what if you don't know any sign language? Yes, I understand that. But I mean, if you're whispering, I think that's just rude in general, right? If say you're talking about someone else and you're whispering about them, and it's a little even more rude if there are other people, the other person is a deaf person and you're purposely like covering your mouth so that that person can't understand you. Sophie asks, I have a question. Ryan, how do you deal with situations when everyone is hearing and they're talking all at the same time? I find it hard in situations when so many people are talking at once. Well, for me, normally I keep myself out of those situations But if I have to be in that situation, I get lost. Yeah, it's true. I do get lost. But most of the times I just tap on people and ask them, what were you talking about? Most of the time my hearing friends are fine. They explain. Hi from Wales of the UK. Are these far back? I don't know. Also, other important thing I thought about. If you introduce yourself to a deaf person and if you try talking, make sure you're face to face and have eye contact. Because it's hard for a deaf person to read lips if you talk from the side. How can you understand that, you know? You have to be face to face and have eye contact. It's easier to understand. That's the other important thing. Thank you, Tim. Oh, he's saying that it's hard to hear me. Can you guys hear me fine? Maybe I should speak up a little bit louder. I'm sorry. Got a little bit too comfortable. So Crystal has a good question. She says, how would you guys feel if either both of you make each other feel left out at this all the time? I have felt left out before with your friends. It happens in our relationship. We understand that it's not intentional. It's just, I'll let you know I feel a little bit left out. Same thing with you. Yeah, it's just something that's gonna happen, and hopefully we have friends who really try to open that communication, and yeah, it's just something that happens, and it's not you know, we make do with it. Okay, more questions, please. How are you guys doing today, by the way? I'm kind of curious. Jaina says, how do you start a conversation with signing people? Wait, don't say that. Signing people. Just say deaf or hard of hearing people. Anyways, she says, I see a lot but never know what to say because I want to get to know more deaf people. First of all, how do you know more if you don't go up to them and meet them? Just meet them, introduce yourself. Like we said, most deaf people can read lips or write down. I guess it just takes some effort to make friends, you know, just in general. So just put that effort, and you know, you'll meet more people, you'll meet more deaf people, and it'll be good. Tim, hi Tim. Ryan, you're so confident. Do you ever find yourself depending on Ellen? Like, is there anything you choose not to do if Ellen isn't with you to help? Okay. Not really. Well, if she's with me, I do depend on her more. I think that's normal in any relationship, right? But if I'm by myself, I can take care of things. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy for Jesus again. Says, how can I better help my deaf friends when introducing them to my hearing friends or going to events where there are no interpreters? First, I think with my personal experience, when she introduced me with her hearing friends, I really like it when she says, this is Ryan. He's deaf, but he can read lips. So just talk normally. She makes it like a small thing, not a huge thing. It's, whatever. Most of the times, her friends feel comfortable. But I've noticed before, like a long time ago in the beginning of the relationship, she would say, this is my boyfriend. He's deaf. Her friends would be like, oh, okay. But now she just says, oh, he's deaf, but he's fine. He reads lips. That's what, her friends are like, oh, okay, and just get on with it. Yeah, I do that. I'm glad you like that. I do that. When you go to an event with no interpreter, you could ask your deaf friends, do you want me to interpret, or is everything okay? And they said no, then respect that. But if they say yes, ask how would you like me to interpret? Yeah. What do you mean, ask how would you like me to interpret? Is there different ways you like people to interpret things? Like, for example, like interpreting, like how we're interpreting right now, or interpreting face to face, actually eye contact, or on what? Or on stage, or any, ask them their personal preference. So like positions, you mean positioning? Because I can see Ryan in the, what's it called? What's that thing? What's it called? What's that thing called? I can see you in the monitor. I can see you in the screen. So I can interpret what you're saying through that. Because I don't know what it's called. I would just say screen. Yeah, but to add on to how I introduce him, yeah, comparing. Okay, never mind. Never mind. What would you want to say? One question. Daniela. She says, Ryan, when you dream, do you dream yourself talking to people or using sign language with others? That's a good one. I agree, that's a good one. I dream that I'm talking. Really? Really? Crystal asks, for Ellen, do you find it, Ellen, do you find it hard or easy to make deaf friends since Ryan mentioned you have improved your signing? The thing is, I don't really meet deaf people outside of Ryan. That has happened very few times. So, but before, if I did meet a deaf person, not through Ryan, it would be easy. It actually would be um, even more easy because the deaf person wasn't expecting me to know sign language, and it's probably in a hearing setting with like a place with a lot of hearing people. So the deaf person actually, I feel like, um, really appreciated that I knew sign language, and it was easier for us to become friends. Okay, so we're stopping at 30 minutes. Only 5 minutes left. You mean 6, 4 minutes. 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left to ask some questions. A lot of good questions, but not related to making deaf friends. We're live every Saturday at 3. Yep. Every Saturday at 3 o'clock PST time. PST, which means Pacific Central Time. Right. Come on, more question. Only related to making deaf friends, please. What? I'm looking. You're welcome, Ryan says. So Lila says, I'm taking sign language classes. I want to go to some events. Apart from GLAAD, I don't know where else to go. So we kind of touched on that earlier in the video, but just search up where some deaf events in your local area, and hopefully you'll find a deaf event going on, because it's gonna be different everywhere you go. Some states have more deaf people than others. It just varies. It varies a lot. So just do a little bit of research, and you might find something to go to. But you could start with an ASL class or something like that, and maybe make some connections or find some referrals from your teachers. Judith asks, would it bother a deaf person if I asked them if they were deaf or hard of hearing? No, not really. No. Just had to think about that for a second. Not really. Not really. It's not. It wouldn't bother them at all. Chelsea says, is it appropriate to ask a person if they prefer ASL or PSE, or wait, wrong person. Kima, is it appropriate to ask if the person you're meeting prefers ASL or PSE, or should I just start signing the way I do? I would say just start signing the way that you do. Just be you. Yeah. One more question before we go. Kara, she asked, do you have any tips for learning sign from deaf friends? In the beginning of your relationship, with what method was Ellen best able to learn? I would just say just start talking. I mean, it's learning a language, I feel like, is very fluid. I don't know how to sign that. Fluid. You know, it's very natural. It'll come. Um, so, so I prefer. I mean, that's personally to me is that I rather have a conversation, like have a conversation, talk about something interesting, like how is your day? You know, what do you like to do? Or, you know, just have a conversation and try to learn things about that person that you're actually interested in learning about. And then if you come across a sign or a word that you don't know or have issues with, then just ask. Ask the person, how do you sign and spell it out? You know, how do you sign, um, you know, store? Or how do you sign candy? If you're trying to have a conversation with ASL or sign language. And then you're just gonna start picking up, you know, and learning more signs, more words, and they're more connected to, you know, I feel like your language as well, because you're trying to have a conversation. I feel like that's the most effective way to learn sign language. Okay, we're gonna stop now. Okay, thank you all for watching. All right, say your I love you thing. All right, so thank you guys. Yeah, we appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. Remember, every Saturday at 3 o'clock we do. Next week. Sorry, not next year. This is a sign for next year. This is a sign for next week. So we'll see you guys next week, 3 o'clock, same day, Saturday at PST. If you don't follow us on Instagram or Snapchat, you can follow us on Facebook if we have any updates or if we decide to change the time for the live Q&A. Yep. Okay. Bye, guys. That's fine.